The Detroit Lions have beaten the Green Bay Packers. They end their season. It's done. And I got to say, I'm not upset about it. Now, are we frustrated that the Lions didn't have a chance to make the playoffs because the Seahawks won? Of course. In the first half, it was kind of a sleepy first half. But then in the second half, all that went away, didn't it? Because you see Aaron Rodgers. You see the face that has been so much pain, that has caused so much pain for Detroit Lions fans. And you see all the seasons past where it was so close, but no cigar. And you've seen us getting beat in the NFC North, and you see our teams play close games but not get victories. Oh my goodness. 3 victories in Green Bay since 1992. Make it 4, right? And there are so many things that happened in this game. We didn't play perfect. We played far from it, but we made up for the miscues. There was a huge Jameson Williams touchdown that was called back, a Kirby Joseph interception that was called back. There were so many different things that stalled drives or ended momentum swings, but we kept playing. We were the better team. We were the more, I want to say, disciplined team down the stretch. And even though we were younger, we were ready. We were game. And that is a sign of really good coaching. Really good coaching. And by the way, Aaron Rodgers did not play well. He did not play well. So let's go to the box score here. Let's see what we're looking at. Jared Goff had a sneaky good game, and he played even better in the second half. In fact, he all in all outplayed Aaron Rodgers. There's no doubt about it. Threw for more yards, didn't have a turnover, making, I think, 9 straight games that he hasn't had a turnover. Jamal Williams exacted some revenge. He becomes the all-time touchdown single-season leader for the Detroit Lions, which is kind of bittersweet because anytime you see a Barry record go down, you're kind of like, oh, okay. But at the same time, Jamal Williams, good for you, man. You were punching it in. Our running attack came alive. And I think what's so cool about this running attack, and I'll talk about this more in a different video, I'm sure, with Chris, is we've figured out that DeAndre Swift isn't your lead back. He's the change of pace back. Jamal Williams is our lead back. And as soon as we started allowing Jamal Williams, it was when Swift got hurt, to get 20 carries a game, 15, 20 carries a game. And Swift was playing that role of 5 to 10 carries and about 3 to 5 targets. All of a sudden, you saw it work for us. On the receiving, big play by Raymond, that deep ball. DeAndre Swift was all over the place in receiving. St. Brown did exactly what we'd expect him to do with 6 catches, played well, had just that ridiculous catch in the final drive. I just can't imagine. I can't imagine. Hold on a second. Like, I can't imagine being a Packers fan. I can't imagine, like, this is what happens to us. This is how the Lions find ways to lose. That catch by Amon-Ra St. Brown, the one that he dropped, but it just so happened to fall in between his legs. They roll around a little bit and he grabs it and he catches it. I don't even think he thought he caught it. I don't know if he was yelling at the end that he was because he was upset, or if he was yelling, it's a catch. It's a catch. I don't know what he was yelling, but what an amazing play. And then, can we give props to Dan Campbell for a second? Not just for the game plan, not just for having his team ready to play, even though we were out of playoff contention. Let's give him props for clock management. You heard me right. Let's give Dan Campbell props for clock management. See what happened at the end of the game when Green Bay goes offsides, whether it was on purpose or not. I don't know. If it's LaFleur going offside on purpose, genius by Matt LaFleur. But then Dan Campbell declines it, says, no, I want 2nd and 1. I want an extra play, so you guys have to use all your timeouts. Brilliant. So we get it all the way down to 1:15, and he says, hey, we're deep in Green Bay territory. Let's go for it. They go 5 wide. You don't even have to wonder if we're going to throw the ball. And we throw, or if we're going to run the ball, and we throw for a first down. Season over for Green Bay. And I think what this does, what's more exciting to me even than beating Green Bay and sending Aaron Rodgers home. I don't know if it is more exciting. It's really nice to send him home. But what's even sweeter is that now you have this team that's like, see, we did belong. All that stuff coming back, beating the Giants, beating the Jets, beating the Bears twice, beating the Packers in Detroit, beating the Vikings, all that was good. But when you beat Green Bay in Lambeau, when it's in the 20s, 26 at kickoff, to end their season, when everything's on the line, you can say this is a team that has grown up in front of our eyes this season. This is a team that understands what it takes to win. They have learned how to win. There's still players on this team that are learning how to win. Jameson Williams, he's not there yet. He will be next year. I'm confident in that because of his skill set. But this is a team that has learned how to win. Now the focus shifts to, do we keep our coaching staff intact? Can we keep our coaching staff intact? What does that look like? Or does it just, because the worst thing in the world is to go 9-8, not make the playoffs, and lose your staff. That's really hard because we're building a really good thing here. So the questions now become, do you keep your staff intact? If you don't keep your staff intact, if you don't keep your offensive coordinator, do you draft a quarterback with one of your first round picks? I know that it has to be a question. Don't get upset about it. Jared Goff was unbelievable. The best quarterback by rating in the league the second half of the season, the last 9 games, best quarterback in the league. But you have to ask yourselves these questions. Do you go defense? Do you go corner at 6 or at 17, depending on what our picks are? Maybe we're 6 or 18. I'm not sure exactly. I have to look that up. The game just ended. I'm excited. But what can you keep intact? Where do you spend your free agent money? There are so many things, and there is so much momentum going into this offseason. We saw momentum going into the offseason last year, and it took us from a 3-13-1 season to a 9-8 season. What is that same so much more momentum? What does even more momentum bring us to from a 9-8 season? Is this a team that you expect to make the playoffs next year? I think the answer has to be yes. And it depends on what happens with Ben Johnson, with Aaron Glenn, and all of that kind of stuff. But the answer has to be, it's a playoff team next year. And it's so much fun to say that. And I don't think the way in which we won even this game was a perfect example of the season. Let's go back to that box score. No superstars. Your quarterback plays solid. Your running back and running back room plays solid. Your wide receiver room plays solid, and they spread the wealth. They spread the wealth. On defense, you had multiple guys step up. Alex Anzalone had a good game. Kirby Joseph had a good game. Jacobs played solid on the outside. Even Rodgers was complimenting him after the game. Hutchinson played huge in the beginning. Everybody did their part. It was a team win. Arguably the best player, Aaron Rodgers, on the field. Whether he still is or not is debatable because Goff has been better than him. His team lost because we played as a team. It was a team effort, and down the stretch in the second half, when it counted, we played mistake-free football. Green Bay did not. We forced turnovers. Green Bay did not. And that's what got us a victory, and how sweet it is to beat the Green Bay Packers. It's kind of sad knowing we don't get to go to the playoffs. It is. But what a satisfying season this was, from 1-6 to 9-8, 8-2 down the stretch. Anybody would have taken that at 1-6. We'll see you on the next one. We're going to be talking a lot over the next few months because there's going to be a lot to talk about. Go Lions. See you on the next.